Hey champ, let's talk about something that's probably affected you and your trading if you trade in the evenings. I'm calling it trading time dilation, but that's not really what it's called. That's just something I've literally just made up. And this shouldn't be confused with the work done by Paul Krugman, the economist, when he wrote about the theory of the interstellar trade. It's nothing to do with that either. But don't you worry about any of that, because I've probably just confused you now. But actually, wait a minute. Now that we mention Interstellar, that's a pretty good way to explain this. So have you seen the film Interstellar?
We must confront the reality of interstellar travel.
It stars Matthew McConaughey, you know, the guy from The Wolf of Wall Street that did the chest bumping and inspired millions of guys to go and get involved in get rich quick style trading and lose all their money very quickly. You know the one I'm talking about. So the film Interstellar is based on the theory of time dilation, which is a very real theory. And to cut a long story short and to basically really simplify things, it's basically a theory that time will move at different speeds depending on how fast you're moving. Now, I've pointed out in videos before that I'm no scientist or physicist or anything like that, so don't judge me on my bad explanation of that. Okay? But basically what I'm getting at with this time dilation in the markets is that depending on the level of activity, the level of volume at any moment in time, the time itself is either going to move very slowly or very quickly. And no, I don't mean just because you're having so much fun trading that time moves so quickly. So I get lots and lots of complaints from people that have a 9 to 5 and they can only trade in the evenings, and they get frustrated because they're sitting there in the evenings and there's never any opportunities for them. Like, the opportunities are really rare. And they're like, what's going on? Am I doing something wrong here? And you know, I can really understand it. It's such a frustrating feeling. It's sort of like, you know, when you really need to sneeze and it gets to the point and then you don't sneeze and it's like something's missing. That's the same feeling as when you sit through a whole session and you don't seem to get any opportunity to actually open a trade.
These countries, whether it's... What?
Bless you.
Oh, I thought she sneezed.
Yeah, it wasn't a protester.
Now, inevitably what starts to happen with this type of trading is that you start to get really, really tempted to jump into trades that aren't there, to start forcing the trading. But this is just the wrong thing to do, because forcing trades is like the equivalent of fighting yourself. You see, just like with most problems in trading, it all comes down to the psychology. You know, I feel like a psychologist sometimes. I should become Wendy Rhodes out of Billions. But basically, it's a situation where you're fighting with yourself in your head because you're not managing your expectations about what to expect in those evening trading sessions. So here's the situation. Just like the differences in time in Interstellar, this is the same in low activity or high activity times. So when there's low activity, low volume, when things are slow in the evenings, for example, it doesn't mean that there's no opportunities or that there's fewer opportunities. What it means is that time is being stretched, it's being elongated. So time is just slowed down massively. The opportunities are still there, but it's going to feel like they're fewer and far between just because time is stretching. The activity slowing is making time elongate.
Everything slows down.
And it takes ages for anything to happen. Sort of like in my videos when I go off on one and take ages to get to the point. So imagine you have a trading session of 4 hours in the height of the trading session when you've got the crossover between the European markets and the US markets, like middle of the afternoon GMT, UK time. And now imagine you have a 4-hour trading period when the US markets have closed and not much is happening in the market. Well, in this situation, the times are not equal. It may seem like they're both 4 hours, the trading session, and in normal time, outside of trading, then of course they are 4 hours. But in terms of trading, these timescales are very, very different. Your 4-hour session trading Forex when the US and the European markets are closed is going to be something like the equivalent of maybe half an hour or maybe even less in active sessions. Now, this is just an estimate. This is not an exact science. And in fact, back in 2012 when we were building our algo system at PURI, then we actually had this problem because the algo was going to be running 24 hours a day, but we knew that things were different when markets were closed to when they were open. So we wanted to come up with an elegant solution to this, and we tried many different things like using volume instead of time, so volume against price instead of time against price. But it just didn't work. We couldn't come up with a solution, unfortunately. Being honest with you, we failed in trying to find a solution for that. We tried to find something elegant, and in fact the physicist that we were working with, He got really pissed off of it because he liked to find elegant solutions, and this was an open issue that we never got to resolve. So it's not an exact thing that we can say it's this and I'm going to give you a formula for it. It's just something that we have to understand is a reality, and we have to manage our trading around that. So what I'm basically saying is that you have to manage your expectations. If you're going to be trading in the evenings, you can't compare it to trading during the day. If someone during the day gets one opportunity in that 4-hour session, you can't expect the same for yourself. You might get one in the whole week, or maybe even less. So you can't compare like for like because it doesn't work that way in the markets. So if you sit there for a whole session and don't get to open a trade, that's perfectly normal if you're trading in the evenings, unfortunately. But it's not because there's fewer opportunities, it's just because you have to give yourself more time. Time has stretched out. So that's basically what I refer to as time dilation in trading. Now, of course, an alternative if you are trading in the evenings is to not go for intraday trading or smaller time frames, but to actually extend your time horizon for when you're in an open trade and go for like the higher time frames. So maybe trading like the hour chart or the daily chart, and your time horizon is going to be a matter of days or weeks, because then your trades are going to be more significant. You don't have to sit there for a whole session each time. You can manage things a bit more appropriately with the time that you have and the sort of markets that you're trading. So champ, unfortunately, I haven't been able to give you an elegant explanation because this is one of those grey areas in trading. But what I wanted to get across in this video was just the concept of it, so you can start to manage your expectations, stop getting frustrated, and sort out your mindset. Like realign the way that you're perceiving the markets at that time so that you don't get frustrated when you don't get trades and you don't start forcing things and ruining your trading. It might all seem like a bit of a mindfuck like many other things in trading, but it's actually quite simple. But if you have any questions or comments, leave them below and I'll answer those for you. If you did like the video, if you found it helpful, then please give us a thumbs up so I know you like things along the lines of this video, things that are helping you. I need to keep assessing what is helping you and what's just nonsense, what are rants and what is a useful lesson. And if you want more videos like this or about other areas of trading, psychology, technical analysis, fundamental analysis, whatever, then hit the subscribe button. We've got plenty more coming. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.